All right. Shalom, family. Happy Sabbath. Welcome to another Sundown Sabbath edition of our weekly Friday Sabbath class. I'm the brother Ananias. And first off, I want to give all honor and glory and praise to the Most High God of Israel for allowing us to be here together tonight, for bringing us all together, for allowing us all to make it throughout the week, for providing protection and provision for us all. Through the ups and downs, still got to give him all honor, glory, and praise each and every day. And secondly, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Could have been doing anything else, but you choose to tune in and learn and be amongst like-minded individuals. So appreciate you all for that. And tonight's topic or subject, we're going to be talking about trust. Class is called Who Can You Trust? And like I always do, majority of the time, I like to start out by giving a definition. So what is trust? This is Webster's dictionary definition of trust. An assured reliance of on the character, ability, strength, or truth of something or something. One in which confidence is placed, or a dependence on something future or contingent, hope. So that's what trust is. And tonight we're going to be talking about trust. Who can you trust? And let's start off with 2 Timothy 3:16. Make sure you're taking your notes, writing your questions down. And once again, if I forgot to say it, happy new moon. For those who don't know, a new moon is the beginning of a new month in the nation of Israel. And tonight begins the beginning of a new month for us. But unfortunately, here in captivity, we got to adhere to the calendar days of Esau. But we still rehearsing and practicing the righteous acts according to Judges 5 and 11. But happy new moon to you all and happy Sabbath as well. But we're going to start off at 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16.
This is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness.
So basically what they're saying is, just like it says in Romans 15:4, everything that was written aforetime was written for our learning. And that's what we're doing here tonight on this call. We learning, we being edified through the word of the Most High God, through his holy scriptures. Thus saith the Lord. So that's what we're going to be dealing with tonight. Trust. Who can you trust? So from there, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 42. We're going to be doing a little bit of reading. And my brother brought out a while ago, like to call it story time with Ananias. So what we're going to do is go to Jeremiah chapter 42, and we're going to read a little bit about a little story, a little part out of a story, but a story nonetheless. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 42. We're going to read the whole chapter 42 and a little bit of 43.
All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 42 and verse 1. Then all the captains of the forces and Jonan, the son of Kareth, and Jezniah, the son of Hosea, and all the people from the least even unto the greatest came near, and said unto Jeremiah, the prophet, let, we beseech thee, our supplication be accepted before thee, and pray for us unto the Lord thy God, even for all this remnant. For we are left but a few of many, as thine eyes do behold us.
Hold on. Now, what we getting into right now is a part in the story where the Most High basically sent King Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians against us for being disobedient. So at this point in time, we got some men who then came and was dealing with the Israelites, basically coming to wreak havoc. And our people who were going off, who were disobedient to the Most High God, they were coming to the prophet Jeremiah, asking him to go to the Lord on their behalf. So we're going to continue off on Jeremiah 42 in verse 3. Shalom, brother.
Jeremiah chapter 42 and verse 3. That the Lord thy God may show us the way wherein we may walk, and the thing that we may do. Then Jeremiah the prophet said unto them, I have heard you. Behold, I will pray unto the Lord your God according to your words, and it shall come to pass that whatsoever thing the Lord shall answer you, I will declare it unto you. I will keep nothing back from you. Then they said to Jeremiah, the Lord be a true and faithful witness between us, if we do not even according to all things for the which the Lord thy God shall send thee to us, whether it be good or whether it be evil. We will obey the voice of the Lord our God, to whom we send thee, that it may be well with us when we obey the voice of the Lord our God.
All right. So these brothers basically coming to Jeremiah to go, asking him to go to the Most High on their behalf to figure out what they should do. And it's kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of foolish how you want to be disobedient and the Most High tell you, hey, I'm getting ready to punish you. Now you want somebody to go up there and plead your case. You know what I'm saying? Now they asking him, hey, whatever the Lord tell us to do, whether it be good or bad, we going to do it. Why you wouldn't do that in the beginning? When we first came out of Egypt, all the way up into now. Why we don't want to listen and hearken unto the Most High God until he putting that belt on us, till he's spanking our head. But they went to Jeremiah for him to go to the Lord, and they saying whatever he say, we gonna do it, whether it be good or evil, so it be well with us. Read verse 7 for me.
Verse 7. And it came to pass after 10 days.
After what?
After 10 days.
After 10 days. So it didn't happen immediately. So that's one thing that we got to understand as Israelites. When we dealing with the Lord, it don't come immediately. Sometime it does. But that's one of the things that we got to understand being an Israelite. You got to have patience. You got to trust in the Lord, but you got to have patience, have faith. You got to believe in your Creator, your Father. This says right here, and it came to pass after 10 days. So we can't lose faith in the Father. We can't lose faith in ourselves or our brothers and sisters when it don't happen immediately. They came seeking help because they were scared that day. But they went to the Lord and he came back, you know what? 10 days later, I'll give my answer just to see where their mindset at. So we got to keep that in mind as well. The Lord don't answer when we want it or when you want it. He answers on his time schedule, you know. But read that again.
Jeremiah chapter 42 and verse 7. And it came to pass after 10 days that the word of the Lord came unto Jeremiah. Then called he Johanan, the son of Kareah, and all the captains of the forces which were with him, and all the people from the least even to the greatest, and said unto them, Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, unto whom ye sent me to present your supplication before him. If ye will still abide in this land, then will I build you, and not pull you down, and I will plant you and not pluck you up. For I repent me of the evil that I have done unto you. Be not afraid of the king of Babylon, and whom ye are afraid. Be not afraid of him, saith the Lord. For I am with you to save you, and deliver you from his hand. And I will show mercies unto you, that he may have mercy upon you, and cause you to return to your own land.
You see that they went to the Lord, and the Lord basically came back. I don't mean to cut you off, but the Lord came to him 10 days later, basically giving them reassurance of the same thing that he spoke in the early time when he was with us in the wilderness. told us the same thing. He relayed the same message that he told Moses and he told Joshua. Don't worry about it. I got you. While you running scared, you trusting and the enemy, don't worry about that. I got you. You know, if you do what I tell you to do, what he said, I will abide with you in this land. I will build you. I ain't gonna pull you down. Even though when we pissed him off from being disobedient, he was determined to pull us down, to send us off into captivity. He said, if you will still abide in the land, then I will build you and not pull you down and plant you instead of plucking you up. And for I will repent me of the evil that I have done unto you. Is that not the same thing that happened with Moses in the wilderness? He saved us, pulled us out of Egypt. And Moses came up to Mount Sinai to deal with him, to get the commandments. And our people were going off, and the Lord was ready to destroy them. But Moses spoke to him, and he repented of the evil he was going to do to the nation of Israel. This is the same thing, just like it said, in Ecclesiastes. There's nothing new under the sun. This is the same message being repeated hundreds of years later through the prophet Jeremiah. But keep going, verse 13.
Verse 13. But if ye say, we will not dwell in this land, neither obey the voice of the Lord your God, saying, no, but we will go into the land of Egypt, where we shall see no war, nor hear the sound of the trumpet, nor have hunger of bread, and there we will dwell. And now, therefore, hear the word of the Lord, ye remnant of Judah. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, if ye will wholly set your faces to enter into Egypt and go to sojourn there, then it shall come to pass that the sword which ye feared shall overtake you there in the land of Egypt, and the famine, whereof ye were afraid, shall follow close, after you there in Egypt, and there ye shall die. Verse 17. So shall it be with them, so shall it be with all the men that set their faces to go into Egypt to sojourn there. Then shall they die by the sword, by famine, and by pestilence, and none of them shall remain or escape from the evil that I will bring upon them. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, as my anger and my fury has been poured forth upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem, so shall my fury be poured forth upon you. When ye shall enter into Egypt, and ye shall be an execration, and an astonishment, and a curse, and a reproach, and ye shall see this place no more. Verse 19. The Lord has said concerning you, O ye remnant of Judah, go ye not into Egypt. Know certainly that I have admonished you this day. For ye dissembled in your heart when ye sent me unto the Lord your God, saying, pray for us unto the Lord our God, and according to all that the Lord our God shall say, so declare unto us, and we will do it. And now have I this day declared it to you. But ye have not obeyed the voice of the Lord your God, nor anything for the which he has sent me unto you. Now therefore, know certainly that ye shall die by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence in the place whither ye desire to go and to sojourn.
You hear that? All that happened. They came to the Most High, seeking him through Jeremiah. Whatever you tell us to do, we're going to do. He laid it down just as plain as he did in Deuteronomy throughout the curses. You hearken unto me, you'll live, you'll be blessed. You disobey me, you'll be cursed. It's death in the picture. He laid it down and he kept mentioning, I don't know if y'all paid attention, but he kept mentioning that they wanted to go back to Egypt. We always teach on the corners that the word Egypt means slavery, bondage, the house of bondage. So at the time where they getting ready to be taken over by Babylon or Nebuchadnezzar, why is it that our people feel that they can run back to Egypt? After all the greatness that we done been through, why do they want to go back to Egypt? The same place that had us captive, the same place that was destroyed beforehand. That's going backwards. You saying if you want to go to Egypt, you're going to find a sword, you're going to find famine, pestilence, and death. You're going to die if you disobey him. And they went and did it anyway. Let's read 43:1. Jeremiah 43:1-7.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 43, and verse 1. And it came to pass that when Jeremiah had made an end of speaking unto all the people, all the words of the Lord their God, for which the Lord their God had sent him to them, even all the words, then spake of Azariah, the son of Hosea, the son of Joanne, the son of Korah, and the proud men, saying unto Jeremiah, Thou speakest falsely. The Lord our God has not sent thee to say, Go not into Egypt, sojourn there. But Baruch, the son of Neriah, setteth thee on against us, for to deliver us into the hand of the Chaldeans, that they might put us to death and carry us away captives into Babylon. Verse 4. So Johanan, the son of Kareah, and all the captains of the forces and all the people obeyed not the voice of the Lord to dwell in the land of Judah. But Johanan, the son of Kareah, and all the captains of the forces took all the remnant of Judah that were returned from all the nations, whither they had been driven, to dwell in the land of Judah, even men and women and children, and the king's daughters, and every person that Nebuchadnezzar, the captain of the guard, had left Gedaliah, the son of Hakam, and the son of Shaphan, and Jeremiah the prophet, and Baruch the son of Neriah. Verse 7. So they came into the land of Egypt, for they obeyed not the voice of the Lord. Thus came they even to Taphanes.
So the Lord spoke all that through Jeremiah, and immediately they disowned him. They discredited him. The Lord ain't sent you to say that. Man, you trying to get us captured by Nebuchadnezzar, man. You lying, Jeremiah. You supposed to be a prophet of the Lord. You lying, man. Where that mindset come from? They trusting in themselves, trusting in their own mind. You know, we supposed to be trusting in the Lord. Let's go to Psalms 37:1. I'll read it. Psalms 37, verse 1-7. Fret not thyself because of evildoers. That's what's going on. That was Babylon. They was in a rush and a panic because they were afraid of being taken over. But it says, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. For they shall soon be cut down like grass and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. That's all the Lord was telling them to do. If you're going to stay in this land, I'm gonna be with you. I'm going to fight for you. Instead of plucking you up, I'm going to plant you and I'm going to build you up. But they was trusting in being scared of the enemy rather than fearing the Lord. Verse 4, it says, delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee desires of thine heart. You do what he asks you to do, he'll give you what you need and what you want. Verse 5, commit thy way into the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Same thing. You sick, you need healing, you keeping his commandments. You shouldn't be sick in the first place, but keeping his commandments, he gonna heal you. His word heals all. You can get that in the Wisdom of Solomon. But it says, commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Clear as day, so you can understand what's going on and know when he blessing you. Verse 7, it says, rest in the Lord You see that? It say rest in the Lord and wait patiently. They had to wait 10 days just to get that answer. And when they got that answer, they rejected it. We can't be like them brothers and sisters. We got to be those who are patiently waiting on the Lord, enduring to the end. Rest in the Lord, wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. We shouldn't be worrying about what Biden and the rest of the country got up their sleeve. Why? We already know they wicked devices. We already know that anything that they do is not for the Israelites. We shouldn't be worried about what they do or what they talking about doing. Our main objective, our main goal every day, every hour, every minute of the day, we should be focused on the Lord, resting in him, trusting in him, enduring in his word, walking in his ways. And we ain't got nothing to worry about. But these brothers that we reading about, they were scared to the point they about to soil their pants, for lack of better words. Soil their pants. You know what I'm saying? They run it. They don't know what to do. And when the Lord bring you to that state of mind or to that situation where you can't do nothing physically, that's when you have to have trust in him. You can't trust in yourself. You can't trust in man. You can't trust in the enemy. You got to trust in the Lord. And these brothers was ready to go back to Egypt. How silly is that? The Lord pulled us out of there, saved us from Egypt back in the day when we were crying, begging and pleading. He saved us. A few years later, right back in the same situation. Now you want to go back to where you was getting your back beat in, thinking that's some type of safety net, rather than trust in the Lord, who wake you up every day, who sustain you day in and day out, give you the health to walk around, to have a roof over your head, clothes on your back. We want to trust in oppression, trust in jobs. A job is a job. Whether we want to accept it or not, they built this kingdom up and made every position that we do to be replaceable. They make everything and simplify it so that the next man can replace you just like that. When you feel like you're too good or you don't want to do that job, guess what? They can find somebody to replace you. And his brothers and sisters lined up around the block to get these jobs. Rather than trust in oppression, we need to be trusting in the Lord. He the one that gave us that job. He the one that allowed us to wake up, to have safe travels, to make it to and from those jobs.
That's right.
So who do we trust? Who can we trust? The Lord. You know? Let's see what he say in Psalms 52 and 7. Psalms 52 and 7.
Psalms.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 42 and verse 7. Lo, this is the man that made not God his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches, and strengthening himself in his wickedness.
You see that? A lot of our brothers and sisters, especially the other nations, they build themselves up and trust in the abundance of their riches. You know, thinking the amount of money that they have is going to save them. They think all this is going to happen because they got money and wealth. How many celebrities have we seen here recently? All the money in the world passing away earlier, younger and younger. The money ain't got nothing to do with it. Money is a defense to a degree. It'll help you out. You need it. But we need to be trusting in the Lord, not trusting in jobs and trusting in money. Because as I stated before, COVID just showed us that the money and the jobs ain't going to save you. You know what I'm saying? So we need to learn and understand what to trust in, what to put our faith in and our understanding in. From there, let's go to Isaiah 51 and 12. Isaiah 51 and 12.
Get that, Brother Booz. I got to plug my computer.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 51 and verse 12. I, I even he that comforted. Who art thou, that thou shouldest be afraid of a man that shall die, and of the Son of Man which shall be made as grass?
You see that? What the Lord is saying right there. A man is shorter to live. He gonna die like everybody else. So why are we afraid of him? You know, we have conversations amongst each other, speaking boldly about what the other nations is doing and what's going on. But when they come around, a lot of us, I ain't saying us on this call, but a lot of our brothers and sisters, to get the hush hush, get the mumbling when the other nations come around, knowing what's going on. Why is that? Are you fearing them and not trusting in the Lord? You trusting that they're going to speak good things, that because they don't hear you, they got something good to say about you. Whether you know it or not, they waiting on an opportunity to do with us. You know, they always been doing that. Why? Because the Lord said they got a perpetual hatred toward us. They always been hating on the Israelites. Why? Because he chose us. Out of all the nations, he chose us. So the Lord said, don't trust him, man. Man gonna die just like you. But from there, let's go to Jeremiah 17:5. We talking about who can you trust? Who can you trust? Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5.
You said 17 and 5?
Yes, sir. Read it to 7.
Okay. Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 5. Thus said the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man.
What did the Lord say?
Thus said the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord. For he shall be like the heart that in a desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the poorest places in the wilderness, and in salt land, and in not inhabited. I'm reading again. In a salt land and not inhabited. Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, whose hope the Lord is.
You see that? The Lord telling us. A man that trusts in man, put his trust in man, he cursed. Why? Because man's going to fail. It happened from the beginning. Man is going to fail. So cursed be the man that trusts in man, trusting that man got better understanding than the Lord. That man know what's going to happen. No, the Lord know what's going to happen. We can't understand the ways of the Lord. He said, curse is the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arm. Meaning his people, his army. Is his arm, is his strength. Whose heart departed from the Lord. When you thinking that way, you ain't thinking on the same mindset you need to be on. You're not trusting in the Lord, basically. When you trusting in man, you're going contrary to what you're supposed to be doing. But the Lord say, blessed is the man that trusts in him. A perfect example is Proverbs 3 and 5. Trust in the Lord wholeheartedly, or lean not onto your own understanding, but trust in the Lord, and he shall direct your path. You know? From there, let's go to Proverbs 28 and 26. Proverbs 28 and 26.
Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 6.
26.
26. Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 26. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered.
You see that? The Lord give us what you call it, context clues all throughout the Bible. Or in other words, precept upon precept. You know what I'm saying? He repeat himself over and over again, just like a good teacher would if he want the message to be brought across. to the students. If he want them to learn that message, he gonna repeat himself over and over again, just like we do to our kids. You know they rebellious. You know they ain't gonna pick it up the first time you tell them. You got to repeat yourself. And the more you repeat it, that should spark an interest, or that light bulb should pop off in their head, letting them know this is important if you keep saying the same thing. Maybe if I go ahead and do it, I ain't got to hear his mouth no more. You know? It's that simple. But for now, let's go to Jeremiah 17. No, you know what? Isaiah 31:1. Isaiah 31:1. And read at 3. But we want our kids to trust in us. So,
Isaiah,
go ahead.
31, verse 1.
Yeah, read it 3.
The 3. Okay. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, their kind, and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and the horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Yet he also is wise, and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of evildoers, and against the help of them that work iniquity.
Read 3.
Sorry. And now the Egyptians are men, and not God, and their horses flesh, and not spirit. When the Lord will stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping, is that right?
Yeah.
Shall fall down, and they all shall fail together.
Lord telling you. He in control. Let me read that again. Woe to them that go down to Egypt. That's basically saying, woe to them that want to go to oppression, and trust in that. Want to trust in America because they got battleships and airplanes and rocket ships. Because they got satellites everywhere. Because they got Navy battleships. Woe to them that go down to Egypt thinking that that's the strength. That's where the power at. Because they got nuclear missiles, nuclear bombs. Because they can track your phone calls and spy on you left and right. Woe to them that go to Egypt. Go to the job thinking that job gonna save you. Woe is another word for destruction. Beware. You know what I'm saying? Yet also, he said, yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his word. The Lord is the creator of wisdom. Nehemiah said, the great and terrible Lord. King David said, the great and terrible Lord. Ezra said, the great and terrible Lord. It's a reason behind it. He wise and he do all things. We got to understand that. So when we got pestilence running around in America, Babylon the Great, land of the lost, so-called C-19, the jab, whatever the case, understand the Lord doing that. You know what I'm saying? We thinking it's something that came from some Asian brothers. You know what I'm saying? What you got, bro? Can't hear your mic.
Mic on mute. Set your mic muted.
Hey, I like that little feature right there. Hey, we said they trying to upgrade on us, man. 1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 6. Let me get that real quick.
All right.
The Lord does all things, man. That's so true. Going back, we always think about how the Lord is in control. It says, 1 Samuel 2 and 6. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. Verse 7, the Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. In verse 8, he raiseth up the poor out of the dust and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world
You see that? The Lord do it all. He ain't made nothing secret. It's wide open. Anybody can read it. It's just up to you to receive it or reject it. You know? And a lot of our people, and especially the other nations, they reject it. The fact that he do all things. They want to try to sweeten the deal and say, oh, the Lord is all loving. Yeah, it's love. It's love, all right. But he said he will bring evil and will not call back his word. So we need to understand that at all times. If he tell us that if we follow his commandments, walk in his ways, he going to bless us, why is it so hard for us to do that? We need to focus on that and learn his word, learn his will, learn what he wants from us and push toward it in order to be successful and find the things that we need in life to be successful or succeed or to live a good life by doing what he asks us to do. And from there, let's go to Isaiah 36:6, just to piggyback off of what we're talking about. Isaiah 36:6 and go ahead.
Book of Isaiah chapter 36 and verse 6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand, and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust him.
You see that? That's the same thing talking about America or Babylon the Great. We trusting in it. What did it say? Trusted in the staff of this broken reed, of this broken kingdom. Egypt was broken down. Yet and still we want to trust in it. And it said, wherein if a man lean on, meaning you trying to live your life and lean your whole existence on the customs and the ways of America, it said what? It will go into your hand. Just like you leaning on a stick trying to prop yourself up and it go through your hand. It will go into your hand and pierce it. So is it the Pharaoh, king of Egypt, or the president, the king of America, or the customs of America, to all that trust in him. We already know that everything that America do is against us. We see it day in and day out. Why do we continuously trust in them? We know they ain't gonna give us nothing but crumbs, but we want to give them our life and give them our time day in and day out. We know that their holidays mean nothing. In fact, they celebrating the destruction of our people. So why are we trusting in them? Who can you trust? You can't trust your own mind. Why is that? Because your mind play tricks on you, thinking that the ways of America is great because of what they project on the TV. And me, myself, when I decided or had an opportunity due to the favor of the Lord, was able to travel to a number of different places. What they projected to me or to us on TV was nothing more than a facade. They show us what they want us to see. But whether we want to know it or not, everything that we see here in Alabama is going on all around the world. You think in Canada that everything is totally different. Nah, it's the same. You go to the islands, it's the same thing. You got souped up hotels, but everything around the hotels is what? Hoods, ghettos. Folks out there barely surviving. It's a facade. That's what they do with the TV. They show you what they want you to see. Just like they portray to us, like over in Africa, all you see is people with flies on their eye, can't even feed themselves. You know? Tell me I'm lying, though. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't lying, bro.
They show us what they want us to see. They tell us what they want us to believe. Just like the news. They tell us what they want us to know. They don't tell us everything that they are doing or planning. Who would do that? Because they know somebody gonna try to hinder the building. So that's what they try to do to us. We quick to run and tell them our business and they hinder the building every time. They've been doing it since back in the day. So who can you trust? So from there, let's go to Sirach 12 and 10. You damn sure can't trust the enemy, the other nation. The Lord said that. Like I said before, he give us the answer to everything. We want to know, is the so-called white man our friend? Is the so-called East Indian our friend? Is the Chinese, the Japanese, are they our friends? Is the African man really our friend just because they look like us or got the same skin tone? I ain't gonna say they look like same skin tone. But what the Lord say? Sirach 12 and 10.
The book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
What did he say?
Or like as never trust thine enemy.
Never.
Or like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
It don't matter if they shave their beard off or if they grow a beard. If they put some tattoos on their face, if they slap palms, if they rap like you, if they try to dance and cook the same foods, they still your enemy. What they call that, wolf and sheep clothing. Christ came for the lost sheep, wolf and sheep clothing, trying to be your friend, trying to be buddy. Who can you trust? What they put on TV? We've been watching what they put on TV and look where it got us. We've been trying to live like them and look where it got us. We trying to live and be subjective to them. Look where it got us. Trying to have them involved in our movements. Look where it got us. Now they trying to erase the history. But that's another discussion for another day. But the Lord said, don't trust your enemies. Never. Not when they shake your hand and smile at you or give you a job. Maybe even give you a promotion. Let you off. Send you a text message. Buy you a lunch. Said never trust your enemies. And Paul said if it be possible, live peaceably. But that don't mean trust them. Hell, I can live peaceably with a dog. But if he sensed that fear, he already know what the deal is. The Lord said never trust thy enemy. But from now, let's go to Psalms 33 and 16. It's a reason why he's telling us this. The only reason we trusting in the enemy is because we thinking they got the power. We thinking they got the army. We thinking they in rulership. When 2 Ezra 6 and 54 tell us that the world was made for our sake. But go ahead and read it.
Chapter 33 and verse 16. There is no king save by the multitude of a host. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength. An horse is a vain thing for safety. Neither shall he deliver any by his great strength. Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. Our soul waited for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. For our heart shall rejoice in him because he have trusted in his holy name. Because we have trusted in his holy name. Let thy mercy, O Lord, be upon us according as we hope in thee.
As we hope in thee. Said there is no king saved by the multitude of a host. No king saved by his army. By the will of the Lord. The Lord called them folks to come and deal with us because of our disobedience. That king ain't did nothing. Because if we were disobedient, the Lord would have been and smacked him around and throw him outside, threw him to the side, basically, put him in a ditch somewhere. But when he called them to come deal with us, it's because of our disobedience. To this day, he called the police to come deal with us because of our disobedience. And constantly showing us that we need to get back in alignment with him. All these different police killings, the killing of each other in our own neighborhoods, that's supposed to be a sign to us to wake the hell up. But being how it is here in America, we'll be mad about it for an hour and scroll right past it and continue on with our day as if it never happened. But the Lord telling you, hey, America ain't the king, and it ain't saved by a multitude of a host. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength, but by the Lord. Said, behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him. So he watching out for those who fear him. That's why he looking out for us, because we realize what's going on. And we fearing him, trying to walk in his ways. So he gonna look out for us. He said it right here. This ain't me making it up. These ain't my words. To deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. And our soul waited for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. That's why we ain't got to worry about no nuclear bombs and missiles. That's why we ain't got to worry about the police and their K9s. We ain't got to worry about that. Focus on the Lord. He going to fight the battle. He said redemption is his. He said, for our heart shall rejoice in him because we have trusted in his holy name. We ain't trusting in the ways of America. We ain't trusting in what they put on the TV, what they put in the newspapers. We ain't trusting in that. We trusting in this, thus saith the Lord, in these scriptures. Staying focused at all times. That's who we trusting in. From now, let's go to Ephesians 4 and 14. Ephesians 4 and 14. There's a lot of things that's happening to us here in America. And this is one of the main things that's going on. Ephesians 4 and 14.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 14. That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men, and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive.
All these different doctrines that we in here in America. I mean, you wouldn't believe what we went through or heard last weekend out teaching. I mean, these folks is crazy. I mean, my brother Baruch can attest to it. You know, a lot of foolishness, a lot of different doctrines that our people are tossed to and fro in and don't even question, don't even research. You know, throughout my lifetime, I was always seeking, trying to find that answer, trying to find the truth. And I kept going, trying to find it. I was reading here, reading there. Couldn't find it. Nothing grabbed me. It was different things that I liked, but it never grabbed me like the truth did. You know? But a lot of our brothers and sisters is carried away in these doctrines, tossed to and fro. And it's killing them. It's killing our people. And that's what the enemy wanted. But we so blinded with that strong delusion that the Lord put on us. We don't know which way is wrong, which way is right, which way is left, what's up, what's down. We don't know. We that low as a society, as a people. We don't know which way is wrong or which way is right. I mean, just look at the things going on where a man could marry a man. I mean, they even trying to get it where men can have babies. I seen an article the other day where they trying to come up with an emoji with a man being pregnant. You know? Kind of foolishness are we going through here in America? So-called land of the free, but you got to pay for everything. But we ain't gonna get into that either. Let's go to Romans 8 and 7. Romans chapter 8, verse 7.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God.
It said those who are in the flesh cannot please God. So if we trying to live for the word, you can't please the Lord. And that's our whole, that should be everybody's main objective. If everybody got a relationship with him, we should be trying to please him. But if we trying to live for the world, it just said the flesh cannot please God. But it said, because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So what is that saying? To trust in anyone or anything and not the Lord, that's a carnal mind. That's not of God, and you can't please God with that mindset. So we need to keep that in mind. Go ahead, brother. Your mic on mute.
Hey, God. Hey, let me, this is one of my favorite precepts, y'all. Just going back into how the flesh can't please the Lord. You know, the things that we deal with on a daily basis. This is Romans 12 and verse 1. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice. Right? Going into how we're going to suffer things, and we're going to go through things, you know. And it says, make your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God. Holy going into separate, because we're going to come out of the ways of America.
Mm-hmm.
It says, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Right? In verse 2, it says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Right? And it says, that ye may prove that is good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So, we got to adjust our minds, being able to go back into the laws and apply it to our daily lives. So we can be able to know what's right and what's wrong through the eyes of the Lord.
Oh, praise.
Hey, where's the hand raise button?
It's right there.
Oh, I see it. Hold on. Let me get so this is Romans chapter 7 and verse 14. It says, for we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, so it understands. So we know the law is spiritual. It's not just, the Lord didn't just give us things to do and what not to do. These are spiritual things. So like we have to look at it in a spiritual way and not a fleshly way. So like keeping the Sabbath day, he told us to do it for a reason. It's a spiritual thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, you just not being off and not spending money that day. It's something spiritual about it. Just like a man wearing a dress or a woman wearing pants, it's spiritual. Spirit's in that. Right? When women wear pants, they feel like they're more masculine. When a man wears a dress, he will feel feminine, you know. And so we just got to keep that in mind.
That's
that
right.
We always come back to these commandments, you know. But we have to have a faith in Christ too as well. And that's the only way we're going to be able to keep the commandments through Christ.
Oh, praise. From there, let's go to Galatians chapter 5, verse 16 and 17. 16 through 21. Galatians chapter 5, verse 16 through 21.
Book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 16. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit lusteth against the flesh. And these are contrary one to another, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would.
Mm-hmm.
But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the law, now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, sedition, heresies, enviness, murder, drunkenness, reveling, and such like, and of which I tell you before, as I have told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
You see that? All the things that we were just speaking about, you know, concerning the flesh, the things that are not pleasing to God, ultimately, that's sin. If it ain't pleasing to the Lord, you sinning. Point blank, period. But you walking in the spirit, that's pleasing. You know? And he said, when you not walking in the spirit, you're going to start believing and trusting in your own mindset, your own heart. And that's when you're going to start committing adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness, idolatry. All these different things happen when we start trusting in our own mind, when we start sinning. Go ahead, bro.
Get this precept real quick. This the book of Sirach, chapter 35 and verse 3. It says, to depart from wickedness is a thing pleasing to the Lord.
That's right.
And to forsake unrighteousness is propitiation. Right? And it's going to tell you, depart from this world, sin, any form of, ungodliness we want to detach ourselves from. And that's also how you make supplication for your sin.
Mm-hmm. From there, let's go to Sirach 37 and 14. For Ecclesiasticus in the Apocryphal, chapter 37, verse 14. Ecclesiasticus chapter 37, verse 14 and 15.
I get you. 37 verse 15.
14 and 15.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 37 and verse 14. For a man's mind is sometimes wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. And above all this, pray to the Most High that he would direct thy way in truth. Let reason go before every enterprise and counsel before every action.
So when we start trusting in ourselves, start trusting in man, start trusting in the enemy, that's your mind playing tricks on you, in other words. For a man's mind is sometimes want to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. I spoke about this many a time. You got a kingdom, you got the 4 pillars surrounding the kingdom. You got watchmen in the top of the towers watching for what's going on the outside and overseeing everything going on in the inside. Your mind is the kingdom or the king sitting inside. You got brothers and sisters, you got the scriptures, you got the news that's going on, telling you what's going on around you. But your mind sometimes playing tricks on you. What I mean by that, you are thinking, perfect example is what's going on in the world today, the pandemic, the C-19, we don't know what's going on. The Lord said, don't worry about that. Trust in me. But they pushing their agenda out in the real world, out into the TV land, saying we need everybody to get that jab. Now, most people don't even consider, why are they pushing it like that? How long has this jab been out? They saying now you got record numbers of cases. So you mean to tell me a year later, after the fact, you got record numbers now shooting up after you started delivering the so-called jab, the C-19 jab? Now cases are spiking after you give it? Think about that. We don't consider these things. We thinking, we trusting in oppression. We trusting in Egypt, thinking that they giving us a solution. They never give us a solution. They never have, they never will. That's not their job. The cases spike after they give us the so-called vaccine. After they give us the remedy, the cases spike. And then the people that's getting it, that got it, still getting it. And yet and still, they trying to push it and force it on everybody. What is the real agenda? Think about that. They forcing it on NFL, NBA players. They trying to force it on the kids before they go back to school. They trying to do it at your jobs. They trying to do it everywhere and knowing it don't work. Go ahead, my brother.
Hey, I kind of like this thing, man. But like you said, they pushing it on everybody, man. Like they getting like singers and athletes to come on YouTube and do commercials about how they got the COVID shot and how safe, and make sure you do your research and stuff. There is no research on it, man. You know, and they just like they trying to promote it to mainly our communities, right? You hear that all the time.
All the time. But that's your mind playing tricks on you, thinking that the enemy gonna give you some type of remedy. If we look back throughout history, they've never cured anything. Never. They ain't cured nothing. If somebody got something that they cured, please share it with me. Prove me wrong. But they ain't cured nothing. So-called enemy. They ain't proved nothing. So we believe in that, we trust in that. That's your mind playing tricks on you, thinking that that's going to save you or help you. What's going to help you is trusting in the Lord, doing his will. But this is something that we need to be doing on a constant anyway. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 10, verse 13. I ain't got too much longer. I ain't going to hold y'all captive. Even though Babylon is doing it every day, I ain't going to hold you captive. Proverbs chapter 10 and 13.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 13. In the lips of him that have understanding, wisdom is found, but a rod is for the back of him that is void of understanding.
Read 14.
Wise men lay up knowledge, but the mouth of a foolish is near destruction.
The lips of him that have understanding, wisdom is found, but a rod is for the back of him that is void of understanding. Think about that. When you got understanding, wisdom is found now. But when you foolish and it lacks, that back gonna get beat in constantly. That's what it's saying. A rod is for the back of him that is void of understanding, that lacks understanding, lacks wisdom. We got to use wisdom to discern what's going on here in America, discern what's going on in our day-to-day life. Got to use wisdom to navigate through these things. How we do that? Read the instruction manual. It's that simple, you know? But let's go to Sirach 36. Sirach 36. And I'll read 1 through 17. This is the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 36. All right.
You said 36?
Yeah, 1 through 17.
Hey, it's a good prayer, too, man.
Yes, sir.
This book of Sirach, chapter 36, verse 1. Have mercy upon us, O Lord God of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. Lift up thy hand against the strange nations, and let them see thy power, as thou hast sanctified in us before them. So be thou magnified among them before us. And look at all this separation, though. You know, that's kind, man. It says, verse 4, as thou hast sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us. And let them know thee as we have known thee, that there is no God but only thou, O God. Show new signs and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works. Raise up indignation and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. Make the time short. Remember the covenant and let them declare thy wonderful works. Let him, verse 9, let him that escape be consumed by the rage of the fire, and let them perish that oppress the people. Smite and sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say there is none other but we. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together, and inherit thou them as from the beginning. O Lord, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name, and upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn. O be merciful unto Jerusalem, thy holy city, the place of thy rest. Fill Zion with thy unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory. Verse 15. Give thy testimony unto those that has possessed from the beginning.
Hey, shut the door.
Testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raised up prophets that have been in thy name. Reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful.
All praise.
All praise.
Hey, that's a wonderful prayer, man. You know, we need to be praying that day in and day out. You know, can't get no clearer than that. That's what we need to be seeking: destruction to the enemy, for him to start over with us, to come get us, bring us home. You know, but you know, like we were trying to do is start bringing out commandments that we normally don't hear or speak about too much, but it's very important that our people understand. And one of the topics that we were talking about tonight is dealing with the jab, you know, and what's going on around the world. So let's all go to Exodus chapter 23 and 25. Exodus 23 and 25. And it reads, and ye shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. What is he saying? We serve him by serving and keeping his commandments. And he gonna do what? Shall bless thy bread, meaning your food, your money, and thy water, and I will take the sickness away from the midst of thee. So when you keeping his commandments, guess what? You're not going to get sick. Did you ever read about Moses getting sick, Joshua getting sick, Christ getting sick, King David, Solomon, Isaiah? Anybody that was keeping his commandment, did you ever hear about him getting sick? We need to take that into consideration. Go ahead, brother. You on mute.
Let me get it's one of the curses, man, that you have brought out. Well, you know, it goes back to the curses, man. Deuteronomy chapter 28, and I'm gonna start at verse 20. It says, again, because you know, we all know the Lord brought curses on us for breaking his commandments. And one of the curses that verse 60, moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Because I don't know, like last year, maybe sometime this year, a lot of the plagues that they hit Egypt, we seen like the locusts, I seen the blood moon, I seen the blood river, you know, different pestilence we had, you know, the Lord, you know, actually made good at this word. But I want verse 61 though, going back to the sickness. Verse 61, it says, also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. You know, we all may have a different opinion of what we think COVID is, or how the Lord may be using it, but I feel as if the Lord is in control of it. And you know, like you just said, you know, if the Lord wants you to get COVID or whatever it may be, the Lord will teach it to you. But it goes back to the curses, because he said, if it's not written, and we know we never read about COVID-19 in the Bible, so we understand that the Lord is in control of it.
That's right. So knowing that if we serve him, we don't have to worry about sickness. We shouldn't have to deal with what I'm about to present to you now. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Can everybody see that? Yes? No?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is up in Washington, D.C. The D.C. school district is being sued over a law allowing student vaccines without parental consent. So up there in the District of Columbia, they even passed a law where it allows the school system to ask the student if they want the vaccine, and it will give it to them without parental consent or without even notifying the parents. One of y'all brothers want to read the article?
I'll get it.
All right.
Parents of students in the District of Columbia Public Schools are suing the district over a new law that gives officials permission to vaccinate public school children without parental consent, regardless of whether they have religious objections to non-FDA approved COVID-19 vaccine.
Keep going.
Government uprising parents. The Minor Consent to Vaccine Act of 2020. The Minor Consent to Vaccines Act of 2020. Municipal regulation went into effect as a law on March 19th after the council passed it in November by a 10-3 vote. It enables children 11 and older to consent to a vaccine if they were deemed capable of meeting the informed consent standard and able to comprehend significant risk orderly inherent in the medical care.
You see that? Let's say it enables children ages 11 and older. 11? Talking about they can, if they capable of meeting the informed consent standard. Do you want it? Yes or no? That's it. Come on, man. Able to comprehend. You got adults that don't even know what this is, but they got the nerve to say that they gonna push this on an 11-year-old child without even telling the parents. Come on, man. Keep going.
The Christian Post informed under the law, students can have vaccines administered to them without their parents' knowledge because their insurance providers are required to seek reimbursement without parental consent.
You see that? So now they're going to put it on the insurance company because they can seek reimbursement without parental consent. Who's paying for it? The parent. So the parent paying for the insurance, but you ain't got to tell me my child is getting the shot, getting the jab. But if I don't send my child to school, they're going to come lock me up. But now they're going to have the child able to get a COVID shot that nobody knows what's in it. And you can do it without my knowledge. Come on now, keep reading.
Making parents even more up in arms, the problematic laws prohibit insurance companies from sending parents an explanation of benefits to specify the medical service received by their child. Shockingly, children are to be granted access to their immunization records without parental consent under the anti-family legislation. Wait a minute here. Fighting on behalf of 4 parents with religious objections to have their children receive COVID-19 vaccination, Children's Health Defense and Parental Rights Foundation filed a lawsuit against the district in the U.S. Let me read that part over. Children's Health Defense and Parental Rights Foundation filed a lawsuit against the district in the U.S. District for the District of Columbia, maintaining the mandate violates their parental rights.
So this is in District of Columbia. the U.S. District of Columbia. That's Washington, D.C. That's where the White House is. And this is where they mandating this at. But we want to trust in Egypt. We want to trust in the enemy. The Lord said never trust them, thinking that what they doing is going to help us. This is nothing beneficial to us. How can you force that? And then have the nerve to not even want to notify the parent. Why is that? Because you know the parent gonna go the hell off. But go ahead, keep reading.
Children's Health Defense President and General Counsel Mary Holland argues that the law flies in the face of the United States Constitution. The D.C. Act is reckless, unconstitutional, and needlessly endangers the children's lives by stripping away parental protection and the protection of the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act of 1986. Holland expressed in a statement, according to the Globe Newswire, essentially, the law can be read to imply that the government has the best interest of the child at heart, not the parent.
You see that? What is that saying right there? That's basically what's going on in today's society, where we putting a decision in the hands of the child. The child don't know what the hell going on, but we putting decisions, major decisions, in the palm of their hand. That's silly. That's foolish as hell. It said the D.C. Act is reckless, unconstitutional. Well, who passed the law? The same folks that's sitting in there making the laws. But then they say the act is reckless. Of course it is. Then they say it violates the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act. Of course. But the fact that you got a Vaccine Injury Act from 86, something wrong right there. You know? But it's basically saying the government got the best interest of the children, not the parent. They don't care what the parent's saying. The parent got too much understanding. They might have questions. The government said, the hell with that. We just going to shoot them up so we can get over our 70% mark, so we can open up the economy fully and operate as normal. So we can get on with our hidden agenda and keep pushing. And we're going to have the world trusting in us, thinking that we didn't do this. But go ahead.
The Minor Consent Act subverts the right and duty of parents to make informed decisions about whether their children should receive vaccination by both depriving them of the opportunity to make those decisions and by concealing from the parents that the children have been asked to consent to vaccination or may have been indeed been vaccinated. The lawsuit reads, defendants listed on the lawsuit include Mayor Marielle Bowser, the Department of Health Director LaQuandra Nesbitt and Louis Furby, who serves as chancellor for the D.C. public schools, which reportedly is not mandating that students take COVID-19 vaccines before starting fall classes. Yet it could give the vaccine the eligible students under the Minor Consent Act. According to the compliance, 2 health records are created for students by the Minor Consent Act, with the immunization record accessible to parents left blank, while the actual medical history of the child, including vaccinations, are available to the minor but not to parents, such as those with religious exemptions for the vaccine.
You see that? Check that out, though. It said, according to the complaint, 2 health records are created for students by the Minor Consent Act, with immunization record accessible to parents left blank, and the one to the child is filled out with the vaccination available to the minor, but not to the parents. What kind of foolishness is that? You got two different health records, and you don't want to tell the parent. So they got to come together and basically sue the school district behind this. But this is what we trust in. Think about what's going on. Where we at?
Hey, and Esau got all this damn technology, man. We can talk on Google Meet. You got all these damn new media platforms. You got Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, damn anything. You can put it on Netflix, but now they going door to door. They're going old school now. Just so that lets you know they trying to push it on everybody. They trying to push it on you. They really not trying to give you the option or whatever. They trying to literally push it on you. They going door to door like the old vacuum salesman, trying to sell your damn vacuum, man.
Mm-hmm. That's all I want to get on that. You know, if anybody want to read more, all you got to do is type in a DC lawsuit or DC being sued over students allowing vaccine without parental consent. Matter of fact, I can put it in the discussion topics. What you got, brother?
I appreciate it real quick, man. Just going back to, man, how to eat them. And we know America, you know, they just, you know, evil itself. Inside Jeremiah 13 and verse 23, it says, can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leper his spots? And then Ethiopian is black as hell, right?
Is who?
Ethiopian.
They what?
Black, dark skin, very, very dark skin, right?
To a degree.
Right. And it says, leper his spots, right? It says, this is Jeremiah 13 and 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leper his spot? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. And we know this, you know, Esau, this white man, they're accustomed to do evil, man. All they know is greed, is wickedness, and confusion.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to sit here and just play dumb like this man have a vaccination that's going to heal us when we've been dying from various diseases all our life that they ain't got a cure for. You know what I'm saying? We've been dying by many things and they don't have a cure. This white man not going to give us nothing for free or nothing that's going to benefit us as a whole. So we know there's some evil behind it.
That's right. So, you know, at the end of the day, who can you trust? Hopefully after this class, everybody learn who they should trust in, who they can't trust, and who they should put their trust in. What we should be doing on a daily, what we shouldn't be doing on a daily. And on that, I hope everybody learns something. And I'll close it out and say shalom.
Oh, praise. Good class.